The Munsters is a brand new reboot or remake of the original 1960s television series, also called The Munsters. This is Rob Zombie's film. I know he is a massive fan, so this film was filled with so much passion. Did it deliver though? Stick around to find out. So I really love Rob Zombie. Just as a person overall, I think that he makes incredible music. I think Hellbilly Deluxe is the perfect album to listen to in October. Of course, I love that. I love White Zombie, but I also really love some of his movies. I haven't seen them all, but I will in a few days, and I will rank all the movies, so make sure to stick around for that. I will also have reactions for both of his Halloween movies, which I have not seen, but I have seen the Firefly trilogy. I really like the first one. I love the second one. Third one didn't really hit for me, but The Devil's Rejects is a fantastic movie, and I was interested going into this one, even though it really got hated on, and the trailers weren't really doing much for me, and I've never seen the show. I want to make that clear. I feel like a lot of people are missing that this is I don't know if it's a remake, I guess kind of a reboot. I don't really know of the show, so I had to keep that in mind that a lot of this humor is supposed to be sitcom humor, and it definitely feels like that. Is this movie good? Not really. Like, I didn't love it at all. I didn't really like it that much. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but when it comes to his other movies, this is easily my least favorite, and I can see this being movies that people just hate. And part of that is definitely me taking into the fact that this Rob Zombie film and Sheri Moon Zombie's in it, and she is actually the best part of it in my opinion, but I will talk about that in a little bit. And I realize that a lot of this is sitcom humor. It's supposed to be that. So the movie really isn't that funny. I actually laughed more than I expected, but overall, I wouldn't say this is a funny movie. There's a lot of jokes that are intentionally supposed to be bad, but some that are supposed to be serious, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that just didn't land. You kind of just smack your face with it, just like, oh, that wasn't really that good. It wasn't really that well written. And again, I get it because it's supposed to be sitcom humor, but sometimes it really did fail for me. One of the positives I do have with the movie though is that the production design, costuming, and makeup and all that looks amazing. Typically Rob Zombie's movies are very bleak and have a very dark nature to them. That's obviously something he's been known for, is making insanely gory and just really restricted movies. They're R-rated movies, and they're R-rated for a reason. This one, completely different, and I appreciate that. That's one thing that I do appreciate about him, is that I know he's been a massive Munsters fan for like ever. I've seen videos where he talks about it, house tours where he has a lot of the stuff from it. So that's why I was interested going into it, and you could tell a lot of it was very accurate, and I have seen photo comparisons because again, I haven't seen the show, but I have seen little clips from it here and there, mostly just in his interviews and stuff like that. So I really like the production design, and I'd say the way the movie looked was very bright and colorful, not something I expect, but it did help set the tone for it. Although sometimes the camera work, again, the wacky sitcom woo camera work did get a little bit annoying at times. I get why it was there, and they had silly things like how when a character would see something they like, behind them would just be like all hearts and stuff like that, which I equally like and dislike. I get why it's here, but it is a little bit silly in nature. But talking about the actors here, Sheri Moon Zombie, of course, because she's in basically all his films, co-stars in this movie. She was my favorite for all the actors. She definitely pushed her performance and really pushed it to the line. I mean, they all did. They have to really exaggerate on a lot of stuff, but she really stood out to me as the one that didn't really annoy me. When it comes to everybody else, obviously she wasn't as wacky and over the top as them, but there are definitely some moments, but I just really like her line delivery. You can tell that she also, along with Rob Zombie and the other cast members, has a lot of passion for this, so it was cool to see. The other two actors are Jeff Daniel Phillips and Daniel Roebuck, I think that's how you say his name, and they were definitely good. They started to kind of push the line and really started to annoy me by the end, especially Jeff Daniel Phillips, who played Herman. Again, good and did what he needed to do, but by the third act, because this movie is for some reason over an hour and a half, it really started to get on my nerves, and I was like, oh my god, just shut up. Like, they kept repeating the same jokes over and over again. Here's a dumb joke that he tries to tell, stuff like that, which did start to get annoying. Not saying he's bad, and I get he was probably told to do that, and I get why it's here, and I just have to make that clear because so many people are just trashing on this movie because, you know, it's unfunny and it's dumb. And I get that. If you hate this movie, I get it. I don't blame you. I don't think it's a good movie, but I also see both sides, and I understand why some of the stuff is here. Is it fun? At times, I guess, but there are so many times where it's just like I cringed really hard watching a lot of this stuff. And again, it does feel a little bit lengthy. I started feeling it towards the middle to the end of the second act here, and I was like, I don't know why this movie is like an hour and 50 minutes. It should barely even be an hour and a half, because so many times it drags. I was losing interest like halfway through, at least, like at the very least. I was probably already losing interest like 40 minutes in, but I did want to check it out. I did want to see if it was really that bad. And no, I don't think it is the worst movie of the year. I just don't really think it's that good of a movie, because it doesn't exactly have a clear standpoint of what it wants to be. A lot of the film focuses on them in Transylvania, which I was surprised about after reading the plot. That kind of took me by surprise, and there's some fun to be had there, but again, a lot of the jokes and a lot of the situations become very, very, very repetitive, and it really did start to get on my nerves. And of course, they use all the old tropes, which is fine. It's just something I've come to expect, so it doesn't really have an impact on me anymore. But again, the writing was so hit and miss. I get the dialogue was sitcom-y, but you kind of have to adapt it to a movie as well, and it did start getting my nerves by the end. I wouldn't say that's the actors, I would say it's definitely more so the writing. Cinematography, again, hit and miss. It looked nice for a lot of time. It had a surprising color palette compared to other Rob Zombie movies, but the camera work of the crazy zooms and all that stuff that you would expect on a sitcom doesn't translate that well to a movie. So, can I recommend this one? No, I don't think it's something people should go out and watch. I think if you have seen all of the other Rob Zombie movies, you can check this out and like it. And, well, like it, but you might just want to check this out so you can say you've watched all his movies. If you're a fan of him like I am, that is a big reason why I watched it. And if you're a fan of the show, I would like to know what you guys thought of it. How well does it compare to that old show? Does it work? Is it very similar? Am I just missing something here? Is everybody else who watched the movie also missing something? I don't know. Rob Zombie's The Munsters is a passion-filled attempt at capturing a fun take on these classic characters. Unfortunately, it falls short of everything that would make it memorable. The humor skids down onto the ground from the opening sequence and never picks up. I enjoyed Sheri Moon Zombie's exaggerated performance, especially compared to the others here, but even as a zombie fan, I cannot recommend this movie. I'm going to give The Munsters a 2 out of 5. Again, I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but really, I never want to watch this movie again. I already forgot half of the stuff that happened here, and I was fully awake while watching it, obviously. So I don't recommend it. I don't think it's something you guys should go out and see. It is weird, though, with the release, because it's on Netflix in the United States only, or you can buy it on Blu-ray. So whatever you guys do, let me know. And again, as always, thank you all for watching. It really means a lot. I'm going to have a ton of stuff coming in October. There's going to be a lot. Oh, there goes my cat. I'm also going to be ranking Rob Zombie's movies very soon, and a reaction to Halloween and Halloween 2, his version of it, will come out very soon, probably by the weekend. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time. Over and out.